Alright, so this was a build-around submission for Ayara, first of the Locthwain in Brawl here. And I actually haven't built that many Brawl decks completely from scratch, so there's a chance this is a dumpster fire. This wants you to be able to sacrifice black creatures, and it wants creatures to enter the battlefield so their opponent can get drained. So I basically just included a bunch of good, cheap one-drops that are either recursive or like things that you don't mind having die to begin with. And then we've got a bunch of other things like Brushstroke, which gives us Blood Artist, and actual Blood Artist, and Meathook Massacre that have impacts on when creatures die. So we'll see if this is aggressive enough to get the other things we're going to play against in the format, or if other people are just going to end up going over the top of us here. All right, let's also see if we can figure out the Brawl Playblade. I think it's this one. That is Brawl, Historic Brawl, Ayara. Look at that. Easy, easy peasy. We have interfaced, chat. One successful interfacing, please. I get my vaccine DLC tomorrow. That's a good way. It's a good way to put it. A little pirate action here from the opponent. I'm gonna mulligan no third lane on the play with my free mulligan. Yeah, this is much better. That is correct. Yeah, learn just lets you rummage. The pirate's life is the life for them, chip. Let's do any of your end step, gain control target non-land permanent that was dealt combat damage by 3 or more pirates this turn. Alright, so it's mostly just a pirate lord. Okay, Barren Moor is great. Gonna keep attacking with this. I don't want to Doomblade now because I want to... Because they have a blue mana available, but they might like play a Pirate Lord out this turn. Nope. Okay. Kill the deckhand here. Oh, this dies when you target it with a spell anyway, so it didn't matter when I did that, right? Text box. Chat, you can't expect me to be able to read I'm a Magic player. Come on now. What do you want from me? Literacy. Literacy is a big problem among Magic players. Alright, so that's +2 mana, which means we can double kick this next turn. So for now, let's lulth and make some friends.
Darkness will I will get what I want.
I guess they theoretically... Oh no, wait, they have to hit me with 3, right? Yeah, I have blockers. So they have flying creatures in this. It's a little bit scary. And things are getting kind of big here. See where they send their friends. Am I using Ayara this turn? I don't think so. I think we just like let all this happen. With this contest player for each kind of counter and target permanent or player, give it another one. So it's gonna let them proliferate these. think we just take this, and then we attack for 4, and then this is going to deal 5 with this, right? So they're probably dead. Because this is going to make 5 things total, which drains your 5 with Ayara. And these have Menace next turn. What's going on, Jafaza? Welcome back. Close game. That's sweet. Christy is over the food poisoning side effects part, which is pretty typical. Usually lasts about 24 hours, into the she really didn't eat or drink anything, so she's still exhausted today part. Haley also might have woken up at 2 a.m. with another blowout diaper, so it's a pleasant night all around. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about Rune King. So we're gonna play some Brawl. We're gonna play an Alchemy deck, and then we're gonna play a Rune Terra deck, and then we're gonna start the Rune King this afternoon. Seems pretty good. I don't have a third land, but I have like Wanderer into this, into Cat, and to activate this if we don't hit a land drop, so it seems fine. Well, Christy and I are really crappy adults who eat takeout a lot, so we often eat different things at the same meal. It's great, Durka. Like, the long-term what is alchemy going to be is that devil's definitely in the details. So, like, how often are we going to get balance updates? I think if we get balance updates to alchemy every 4 weeks at a minimum, the format's going to be wildly successful. Sir Miss a lot, thanks for the 10 months. They said expect to get regular updates. So if they actually deliver on that, the format has a ton of potential. If they don't deliver on that, it'll just be more of the same how all of Magic's formats go, and then, you know, I don't know. I guess even if they pull a typical WotC and don't do regular updates to it, it still is technically going to get cards more often than standard, right? Because you'll get a standard set release, and then 2 to 3 weeks after that, you'll get a you'll get the direct to whatever release. So even a kind of worst case, you're still getting more than we would. Thanks, Gamma. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Open this weekend. Not only will Jim Davis be joining me, as he often does for the event, but Cedric Phillips will be our special guest commentator for a couple of rounds. Which is super exciting. I haven't gotten to work with him before, and he's just like the gold standard for commentary. So it's sweet that he's able to come hang out. I think Historic is better or worse with the new cards. I think it's largely the same. I think the thing you have to understand about non-rotating formats is that unless there's something like Ragavan introduced to it, non-rotating formats largely don't change that much with set releases. I feel like a lot of people don't remember that because, like, you know, Eldraine and then the Modern Horizon sets pushed and changed Magic so much and impacted those non-rotating formats, but those were the exception, they weren't the rule. So the schedule for commentary for the Open this weekend, Boneless, is Jim and I will be covering most of the event, and then Cedric's going to do one round with me probably round 5, and then 1 round with Jim round 6. That way, Jim and I can each take a round off to get a proper meal in, as opposed to doing the full, 8-hour tournament without actually eating. Yeah, actually, and I think I want to try and do that and get some other people for the community that are bigger names involved, if possible. Cedric was a natural first one to ask because he's in charge of these wonderful magic shirts I'm always wearing. Coalescence Apparel is his company, and they sponsored the last open, so I figured he'd be a good first one to reach out to for trying something like that. All right, well, so far, our little aggressive deck is doing pretty good. Yeah, just a bug, Ruz, cuz I assume the animation speeds being slowed down was a mistake. Exactly that, Silence. I was just like, hey, Cedric, are you interested in sponsoring the next open? And follow up, instead of paying me, would you like to be our guest commentator for 2 rounds? He was like, yeah, that works. I was like, sweet. Day 9 is on my list of people I want to try and wrangle into doing a couple of matches. For sure. He is also an industry titan and a fantastic professional. Feather redeemed, you say? I mean, your removal in our opener could be a little sketch against Feather. This is likely a commander that takes over the game if it hangs out. This is the new blue-white Planeswalker that's unplayable in there. Is it Is it Nico or Ari or something like that? I forget what their name is. Because their current card's not playable. Nico Aris. I was close with both Nico and Ari. Alright, tap land is better than no land. This doesn't really bother me too much. Probably doesn't want to block these. They'll get to keep pushing damage. Might trade with Aetherborn, I suppose.
You win this round, but I'll be waiting for you.
I'll be waiting. Hey, Oratog, thanks for the 42 months. 3.5 years is quite some time, and thanks for the tier 3. That's very generous. Hope your Tuesday's going well. Your week's off to a good start. Alright, don't have your one of Reckless Rage. Anger of the Gods. That's hella rude. And I'm supposed to Dusk Legion to give myself the best chance to have the 5th land for this. We didn't attack in. Thanks for the heads up. Let me ping my contact on that, Silence. counter, haste, venture into the dungeon. Yeah, I know they rotate their deals, but they should be giving me updates where they're gonna change what my promo link does. We're in danger. I mean, this thing's not killing us that fast, and they don't have any life gain at the moment. Is trample? It is trample. If they don't put any other blockers down here, we'll get to pressure them an okay amount here. Our door is being kicked, shit. Let me in, let me in. The Pandelver. I'm probably just supposed to Lolth next turn, right? Maybe not. Maybe I'm not supposed to Lolth now. It's Blood Artist, into Skeleton, into Sack Skeleton, drain them. This drains 3. Just gonna drain 1, drain 2. And then we can theoretically bring it back. It's currently 6:45 a.m. and I'm excited to be awake today because I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice. Well, it's always putting in notice for being excited reasons is always great. Fantastical. Okay, now let's do this and make a pest token. So I'll drain them for 2 more. I like what our deck just gets to execute its game plan as expected. If they have like another like Sweltering Suns or something, we could be in trouble here. Oh no, I guess that doesn't even do it, right? Because they already used specifically Anger. And if they don't have something that exiles, they die to Blood Artist plus Bastion triggers here. We're at a nice healthy 25. We are brawling. With Alchemy being reasonable, we're not going to do Brawl every day like we were for a little bit, but I still want to do like 1 or 2 a week, I think. Yes, yeah, they really need a way to give lifelink. Opponent is churning through their deck. Not gonna be good enough against the drain pile. Senzai, thanks for the prime. I know there's just a ton of great people here on Twitch making a ton of great stuff. Thanks for dropping your Bezo bucks off at my channel this month. Wouldn't be able to be here without folks like you. Appreciate it. How's it going? This is fine. Tovalar sounds sweet. Ah, Lucario. I really liked Lucario for a long time, but he and I have a strange relationship since Pokemon Unite exists now. Jonathan, thanks for the 16 months. Good morning, good morning. So this gives their non-token creatures Riot, which means this could have haste next turn, so I'm just gonna go ahead and hold back this 4/4 for the time being. So we can Dusk, Legion, Zealot here, which drains them. And then we can sack this, and then it'll come back and draw another card thanks to this, that we can Deadly Dispute as well. Which seems great. I know I can get my attack in now. So I have this to block with. This gives them a window to get to attack here, but that's fine. Nightmare Shepherd is very good with Ayara. Oh, you know what should probably be in this deck that I'm going to be honest, I forgot exists on Magic Arena until right now? We should have a Gray Merchant in our deck, huh? How did I miss Gary? I mean, I was putting the deck together this morning before the stream. And I haven't played with Gray Merchant in forever. I'm just gonna go ahead and pass here. It's not super resource efficient. Hopefully we draw like a 1 or 2 mana instant. There are a couple of draws. I demand perfection deck building in all formats. How else will I steal the best possible decks? It's rough. Those are some big ins over there, Chip. They got a way to give this trample? Oh, would chunk us for a good bit. Okay, so we'll Reassembling Skeleton. Drain. And we'll Cavalier, sack the Reassembling Skeleton, kill the Tovolar. Do I want to bring this back? Yeah, I think so. I think the rest of my mana is gonna be pretty well spent here in the short term. So obviously we can only bring this back the once now, but I have plenty of other things to spend my resources on. That bringing it back just once is fine. She's doing better today, Chuck. Still not back to 100%, but should be by tomorrow now that she can eat some food today. I wasn't expecting a lot from this deck. It's felt solidly reasonable. And that's definitely deck strength matchmaking related, right? The fact that you can like grab a commander that you like and like build a cohesive deck around it and have a good chance to win games. Because things get partitioned off based on power level brackets is great. We're gonna have ourselves a mono black off. Oh, Jadar. I don't think I have a Jadar in this deck. Did I miss him? I think I missed him. Yeah, we definitely want a Jadar. It's a great addition. Add that in here after this match. Honestly, probably better than this. This probably doesn't come back into play particularly often. This is Brawl. Yep, Martian. That's where Ayara is sitting over here off to the side. Vindictive Vampire here, just 4 mana, 2/3 Blood Artist, which is great. Ah. This could be another, I bet we're gonna be able to get a few card ideas from the opponent's deck. This is, Jumpstart card I wasn't aware exists. Shattering Augur, draws a card, and then you can bring it back to play. Keep playing sweet cards, opponent. I'm taking notes. I'm pretty sure I also missed Woe Strider this morning. Can you grab your opponent's deck list in full Enter and Tear after a match? How does that work? I don't recall that being an option. I think you're thinking of Hex, Tobias. That was Hex TCG where you could do that. They exposed that via an API now. Oh, that's interesting. Feels weird to put something like that in the API and not have it in client. Sure, I'm sure. Thanks for the quarter V. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. It's a good feature for reference. It's just a weird thing to hide behind an API instead of something you have access to on the client side. I've enjoyed Alchemy so far. It's been exactly what I expected and wanted it to be. It's a rotating format with a little bit of variety. It's gonna get updates reasonable amounts of times here, hopefully. Oh, I called this Blood Artist earlier. That's actually incorrect. It's only our creatures. Man, Sanguine Brushstroke is pretty good with Grey Merchant too, huh? So this attack just gains us both a life, right? Because I gain 2, but then lose 1, they gain 1. They're gonna ever vote for Fatal Push regardless. Oh, but then this triggers 2. I go Skullport into Brushstroke here, I think. Another tick in the animation indeed. Thanks for 3.5 years, Radian. We currently have 7 Devotion to Black. Okay. They could be dead here, right? Oh, I guess that got rid of 2 of our Devotion. Rats. Are the Alchemy cards legal in Brawl? They are. I just played one, in fact. It's a new Alchemy card. Assemble your new bed, funny. Bed's good quality. Bed is a good investment. They did slow down some of the in-game animations. I don't know that it was intentional. Good chance they just foobarred it. It's cute. Is this lethal? This looks lethal. Yeah, Jadar, Chattering, and Woe Strider. I have those written down too. Let's see if we can, how we can fit those in here. Those all sound like reasonable cards for our sacrifice-centric deck. Rusty. Look at that. The Grey Merchant immediately paying dividends on its addition. Oh, it's Clattering Augur, not Chattering. I don't even have it crafted, chat. Can I not have Brawl staple Clattering Augur? What was that 6/6 call that they played? Do I want a 4-mana 6/6 flyer? For the 4-mana 6/6 flyer they played might also be reasonable. I have a Cauldron Familiar. Hey, Heat, welcome back. Good morning, good morning. I don't think it flame pulls. I don't think it flame pulls. This might be a little bit too slow and grindy. These discard spells seem unnecessary. Oh, you think I want Phyrexian Tower? Yeah, that's probably true. It's a good catch. This Demon of Catastrophes. Oh, it does Flample, in fact. Yeah, it seems good. Do I want Spawn of Mayhem just because it's aggressive? I might want Spawn of Mayhem just because it's aggressive. Relatively aggro and could probably trigger this. Even just a 4/4 flyer for 4 is pretty reasonable. Do I want Cat without a Vin? That's true. That's a reasonable question. I don't know. It drains. It's probably fine. It cantrips with Ayara. It's like drain 2, draw a card. I'm gonna trim the discard spells, just be a little bit more linear. I have a meat hook. Massacre Worm is only for... Massacre Worm is only when your opponent's stuff die, not yours. Nickel Bolas. They're gonna try and grind us out, Chip. I think this hand's actually pretty good against someone being grindy. Because these all generate card advantage when they happen. I'm so glad they banned 8 mana Ugin. That and Agent were both such pit stains. Just excellent removals from the format. Yikes, missing land drop is big sad. It's possible I should have mulliganed this hand that didn't have a third land, but it also had just like a lot of things that generate value, and this implies they're gonna be a little bit more grindy, so I think it was right to keep. Put our third land next turn, we're probably fine. I just want to put them under pressure. Crack you for 6, go. They Bolas here, we like ditch the meat hook, and then we can epic downfall this. Pretty good. Okay. Could go Ayara into Zealot here. Get our Drain on. That's a perfect card to be able to discard to Bolas if they replay it. And this to be able to flashback next turn too, which is nice. Can we drain them out is the question. I assume we're going to lose Trespasser here. Do I want to draw a card with this? I think so. I guess making a 1/1 is kind of like drawing a card because it gives me Ayara. And it drains them an extra. This might be wrong because Blood Artist is good, but this puts them to 1, which forces a trade with the Ravager. Thanks for the follow, Pappy Slappy. Good morning. Is that 10 or 12? 12.
Mindless minion. I've learned much from your death.
So Ayara is gonna die to Angrath here, unfortunately.
You should be flattered I decided to torture you. I adore an audience.
So we just Demonic Embrace this Blood Mage next turn, and then
We're allowed to servant anyway.
attack for a bunch. This game. I'm close to dead, but they're getting their potential stabilization set up here nicely. Remember, our Ayara drains 1 when she comes into play. She counts herself. So they need to both provide a blocker / answer to this and a way to not die to this. Suppose they can have a counterspell next turn.
It's charming to watch you struggle. A mind is an easy thing to waste.
Okay, still dead to this. Oh, we could see Liliana trade for the Callous Blood Mage, then they could have a counterspell.
No fire, no steel.
Veto. Veto's a good shout. Yeah, I could see that being good.
My friend is here to
Let's see
help
us. We do have a lot of
The
drains.
rest of my time. What if you would be more?
Alright, do they have a counterspell for the first of the Locthwain? Set the play to play around miscalculation. Doesn't look like it. Good stuff. Good stuff. Veto doubles up all of our drain effects. You have a good cut for him. Yeah, giving your board lifelink lets you attack for good amounts of pseudo unblockable too. Massacre Girl is unnecessary. She's a little bit reactive. Swap that. Sanguine Bond, Drake Clockwood. I think that card's probably not quite good enough. Oh, that's whenever you gain life, they lose life. It doesn't heal you more. That could be okay. It's another card that makes our drains better. I mean, what do you want me to do, chat? Mulligan the hand that casts Ayara on the first turn of the game? I won't do it. I refuse. Oh, maybe Sanguine Bond isn't done Arena. Exquisite Blood is, I think. One drop is nice here. Close the curve elegantly. Yikes. And just for what it's worth, Bluefire, in general, I don't mind promoting other content creators, but like, the coming into someone's chat and being like, hey, this thing this other person is doing is sweet, while like, they're live and I'm live at the same time, is just like, it's more than a little rude. That's kind of like hey, you should change the channel message to chat. Just take this hit, because we get to drop Nightmare Shepherd here. Then we can block next turn to get our thing back. Unless they have a fight spell. They're not playing Snowlands, so we're not going to get Blizzard Brawl. They should probably be playing Snowlands and Blizzard Brawl. Yeah, Tumos, but like that, like the timing is relevant there, if you understand what I mean. So even if that's the intention, it doesn't come across that way. Like if that's the goal, like a hey Jeff, someone else played this deck, Link, is it something you might play at some point in the future? Yeah, exactly that. We just try and get Ayara going again here. It could be right to get Death's Majesty down. Maybe we do that to start. Just start pumping out some zombie friends.
Why hire servants when you can raise the dead are loyal.
Now, I think I want her to go to 6 as opposed to being killable by either of their creatures inside of combat. I mean, for what it's worth, Bluefire, looking at Crokey's stream myself, like, it's literally the deck that's in the stream queue. That's the alchemy deck I was already planning to play today. There's been a bunch of people working on blue-white decks. All right, we're about to lose the game at some point. Yeah, exactly that, Logan. A lot of people have been working on blue-white shells like that. Playing the 3-mana tempo your stuff card, and then curving out into Hullbreaker and other stuff at the top end that continue to tempo people into the ground. mulligan hands that don't have a third land? I guess we're on the draw. This is also a tap land, though. I've hated playing against it, so that probably means it's good. It seems very gross into creature decks. For sure. Of course, Dark Confidant. Our opponent appears to be AFK, so I'm gonna just concede to stop wasting our time. Thanks to Black Splash. Hey, if you're free on Saturday and are interested in playing in the Alchemy tournament, send me a DM and I'd be happy to get you added. You can ping me on Twitter. It's gonna be 11 a.m. Central. Ooh, this Dorko. I don't know how this card is particularly good in 1v1, but it definitely seems good in multiplayer in paper, if it existed there. We go Witch into Rat into first of the Locthwain. This pushes more damage. Let's do that instead. Although I guess they just play this as a blocker now, right? So anytime anybody discards a card during my opponent's turn that goes to their opponent's end. So my opponent and I basically trade cards here. So I get a Predatory Sludge, or as I like to call it, the Magic Arena. And they get a Concealing Curtains. They just get their sludge back. So I'm gonna Bugler Rat. And then I'm gonna Malakir Rebirth the Bugler Rat. You have a sweet Gutmorn deck for the open this weekend. Interesting. This is not a card that struck me as something that I expected to be standard playable. So I can Cavalier to kill one of their things, and then I can sack the Cavalier to Ayara. We can Cavalier, sack the Burglar Rat, kill a thing. And then I can sack the Cavalier to Ayara to draw a card to bring the Burglar Rat to take the last card out of their hand. Oh, I can get the rat on their turn to get the card out of their hand because of their thing. Wow, that's good. That's a good catch. So I can actually do that now, right? That's really funny. Wow, god damn it, Twitch chat. See, chat, this is what I get for listening to you. Take a perfectly reasonable game where we're super far ahead and just spike it right into the fucking trash can. Try to get cute. Oh no. Brutal, savage, wrecked. Grip. It's fine. It's fine, chat. It's not a big deal.
This isn't your average zombie horde. Get out of my way!
So we get to do this. We get to draft a card, make some blood, and this is gonna flip over.
Dead. Waste not, want not.
So whatever they take here, they get a copy of, because of Gutmorn. Do I want to trade Bloodbat to keep Liliana alive? Bloodbat Summoner. I think so. I also get to draw a card when this happens. So they actually get the sludge back to their hand because it was targeting that, but lets me keep my thing alive, which is good, I think. So Ayara into this, into this.
Easy to find in war.
Dreadhorde is really good with Ayara because it just like makes us a body every turn when it amasses. Feeling pretty good here.
No way to treat a lady.
To draw an extra card here too.
Rise.
Nice and wide here. Where's a meat hook when you need one, right? They have a sweeper, we could maybe be in trouble, but honestly, our Ayara plus Dreadhorde Invasion probably beats a sweeper, even if they have it. Got me.
The mask is scary, but underneath, I'm just a normal diabolist. Let me pick your brain for a minute.
Well, they'll kill Liliana before they sweep Tumos. Great, no sweeper here. Sweeper, no sweeping. Sweeper, no sweeping.
Ugh, well, this was unpleasant.
Gives them a swamp, but that's fine. Are they just dead? I don't know, hopefully.
Not really.
I haven't done the math yet. The face appears to be the place. Drain them out plan seems to be working well. Nah, I don't really keep up with stuff like that, Darth. We did add a veto in, yeah. Untap should be back on, by the way, right? I believe I re-enabled it. Helios thing ended yesterday, so we're back to the normal extension. Cool. Thanks everybody that poked at that, by the way. Do you have any thoughts on that, other than the fact that it had to replace Untapped, which I agree was a little bit less than ideal for when we're doing magic stuff? It seemed like an interesting engagement tool. Year and a half for my favorite WotC shield. What's going on? Welcome back, Exopelagic Squid. Yeah, see, I agree with that, Chuck. It felt a little bit like a tech preview. Felt there's maybe a little bit sparse on total things to be doing, but it felt like there was a lot of potential there. Yeah, a better, more real narrative would be good too. From a thinking of it from like a tech preview standpoint, it seems like there's a lot of potential. Maybe I'm supposed to Ayara first here. Yes, the mobile part of the extension needs to be fleshed out a little bit more. We might just, like, Malik here sack one of our things next turn for some value. Might just, like, rebirth the Skullport, sack it, draw a couple cards, get a blood token, get a treasure back. Opponent is playing, like... It feels kind of like whenever someone playing this in a non-sliver deck feels like you're kind of getting juked. Okay, power word kill can power kill slivers. Can do that too. Hey, Glacier, thanks for 11 months. Welcome back. Yeah, they seem like they're just on 5-color value. They're not doing actual sliver things. I think because of that, they're likely to have a sweeper of sorts here. So I'm going to play Liliana, and I'm going to pick Midnight Reaper back up. So if they sweep, I get to draw a bunch of cards. Pierogi Addict, excuse me? Good morning. Happy Tuesday to you. That is a giant pile of new Hoglandians. Thanks for the support. Happy holidays. Welcome to our newest Hoglandians. For those that were just given the gift of a sub, our next open is this weekend. Gift sub, prime sub, regular sub, all are invited to join that. Up on MTG Mailer, gonna be playing Alchemy this weekend. Looking forward to casting that tournament and seeing what sweet things people bring. We're gonna take my Ayara. We're taking something else. They try and take something not Ayara, we just like sack it to Ayara, so I assume they're taking my commander. Really weird. I guess they could cast this one right away. The incentive to do that, so this just gets rid of it. Bontu does turn blood into cards, doesn't he? That's a good observation. Alchemy tournaments transmute your hopes into missed third land drops. Mood. Big mood. Big mood. Okay, so this drains them to 5. And then this will drain them to 4, and this will drain them to 2. So if I attack with everything, God-Eternal Bontu should be lethal here. Leaving themselves dead to any creature. Yeah, I agree, Pierogi. I also have deck picking power, so like we'll take a look at what's entered from the meta game and make sure we put things on that are new and different to start. And leave the things that are more likely to make it to the later rounds to being featured in the later rounds. We didn't even get a chance for the Croc to stand alone. Yeah. I miss that sack deck that was a thing in Standard for a little bit before like Cat Oven took over. Remember the sweet sack decks before Cat Oven, chat? Where you played like Priest plus 3 mana Chandra and it was just like gasoline? Yeah, and you had like Bontu plus Devil to get people on occasion. Yeah, I actually won. We used to have Twitch Rivals tournaments for Magic Arena, and then I assume Wizards of the Coast stopped wanting to put up prize money. Or maybe they canceled them because I won one of them. That's possible too. It's quite possible they decided they didn't want to do those tournaments anymore because I got invited to them. Shop, thanks for the 2.5 years. Welcome back. Well, I made the finals of one and then I won another. It's like pretty good beats. So, do I want to get Ayara going here or do I want to get Fellstinger down? I think I'm going to do Ayara to start. Okay, Grandpa, let's get you to bed. It was years ago at this point, right? Because the last one, I think, was the one that I... Was the one that I won the last one, or was there one after that? I forget. No, I lost in the finals with Hadana's Climb for 1, and I won one with Red-Black Sack in, like, early rotation Standard. It was, like, 4-set Standard before Eldraine released, I think. Oh, if I upkeep stop, I can sack this and then get another one. That's a good shout. And think about that. I think we just go ahead and kill their Bloodcaster here. Don't really need the acceleration. Our decks felt super cohesive. I was pretty uncertain about this deck going into this set, but if you're looking for a Brawl deck and you like Ayara, this deck has been a lot of fun. Got reasonable amounts of grind and like the ability to drain people out with all of our various things that do that. Have felt pretty consistent. Just get our Planeswalker going here. You know, I looked at Bolas' Citadel when I was putting this together. It could be very reasonable. Our life total stays pretty high and our curve is relatively low. How much does deck building matter? So, from a deck building perspective, it's definitely more interesting to build 1 and 2 color commander decks, which is why I tend to play more 1 and 2 color commander decks. You have a smaller card pool, so you have more meaningful choices when you have less options, basically. Which sounds backwards, but the more cards you have access to, the higher your average power level card gets to be. It's not that matchmaking is broken for Alchemy, it's that the number of players in the queue is rather small. So Pierogi, I'm betting that new Capenna is going to bring us the rest of the triomes. Because the gangs in new Capenna are supposed to be the opposite of the triome, 3 colors. I was going to continue sacrificing this at upkeep. Untapped land is actually perfect here. So we'll go this, we'll make a friend. We'll play Liliana. We'll activate Barter in Blood.
If I were you, you love a good
We draw a
death
couple
wail.
of cards. Man, this is pretty unlucky. We're gonna have to discard the hand size here.
They were a lousy servant. Death is enlightened.
Unlucky. Unlucky rubber ducky. Aka Abs, thanks for the quarter of a year, by the way. I think I missed that one. I missed a couple, too. With a child on the way within the next 2 weeks, I don't know how much I'll be around in the coming weeks, but here's $3 and hope all is well. Thanks for the 2.5 years, Shav. For what it's worth, Shav, as someone who's had a lot of small children, probably my highest content consumption times in my life were right after my children were born. Because as you will soon learn, small children are mostly like lumps. They're kind of just
Rise and
blobs.
shine.
If I destroy all non-zombie creatures, do they die? I get to attack for 5. It's not quite lethal, right? Oh, I could play... I guess I could have a red card. Let's do this and see if they get priority. They did not. Okay, I think... Oh yeah, the Sign in Blood can be lethal too. My fiber provider is Metronet. Hashtag not sponsored, but definitely could be if they offered.
Waste not, want not. This was boring. Feast!
Beast.
I'll find a use for you. I've learned much. They were a lousy servant anyway.
We had 2 extra. No, Ebon Legion is a Vampire Knight. Welcome back, Coder Chris. Thanks for the 15 months. Yeah, for people that haven't had small children before, they don't get difficult until they're like 9 months. Like the difficulty curve is very easy, and then they like spike at 9 months, and they keep getting, the difficulty spikes at 9 months and probably keeps going up until they're about 4. And then once they hit 4 to 5, they hit a point where you can start negotiating with them and they start to vaguely understand rules and penalties and stuff. Yeah, the 2 to 4 is the toughest. And sometimes they hit the terrible 2s. Like Haley is full on terror at this point at 18 months. She started much younger than either of the boys did in terms of like being all over and into everything. But yeah, they only get more difficult and annoying until they're old enough to bribe. Yeah, so not to terrify anybody that currently has a toddler, but until they're able to understand bribes and punishments and rewards for things. Mine's been stuck in the terrible 2s for 11 years. See, like both my boys are pretty great. Like Jake and Declan are 6 and 7, and they're just really good kids. My Ella is 9 months, and you are very right about the difficulty. Yeah, you have to keep progressively child-proofing higher and higher and higher. And I told this story the other day, but we have a bar height table with chairs in our kitchen as our kitchen table, and we left a box out, and Haley figured out she could push the bar height chair to the counter and use the box to climb on the chair to climb on the counter. So it actually just completely escalating. Just good golly. All right, sorry. To wrap on this before we continue reminiscing about children and how they are funny and obnoxious. This deck was actually really sweet. It actually popped off and worked basically exactly how I wanted it to go. Ayara, with the other effects that drained people out, gave us this nice bit of reach. We applied a little bit of pressure early with 1s and 2 drops, and we closed the game out by killing people with her triggers and meat hooks and stuff like that. Ayara drawing cards plus our various other things in the deck gave us a reasonable amount of card advantage. So if you're looking for a Brawl deck, this one was very reasonable and would recommend.